Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's U.S. End-of-Day Technology Deep Dive for Wednesday, May 28, 2025. Today we'll cover market moves in technology, communications and healthcare indexes, stocks, and ETFs. I'm your host, Ira Roth. Let's dive in. Tech-related indexes closed lower today. The Nasdaq 100 ended at 21,318, down 97 points. The technology sector closed at 4,517, down 16 points. All indexes maintain very strong positive trends, except healthcare, showing a strong negative trend. Market breadth shows strength in tech. The Nasdaq 100 saw 80% advancers today. The Nasdaq Composite had nearly 1,800 advancing stocks. Healthcare diverged with more decliners than advancers across all time frames. Looking at returns, the technology sector leads with a 2.2% gain this week. Communication services and the Nasdaq Composite both up about 1.9% for the week. Healthcare lags with just a 0.8% weekly gain. Among top tech performers, Fair Isaac surged 7.7% to 1,620, though showing downward volatility. Broadcom rose 1.6% to 239, marking its second straight-up day. Western Digital extended its winning streak to 4 days. Looking at returns, Supermicrocomputer leads with a 32% monthly gain. Broadcom shows strength with a 24% monthly return. Despite today's jump, Fair Isaac is down 19% month-to-date. Among laggards, Cadence Design Systems tumbled 10.6% to 289 with strong downward volatility. Synopsys fell 9.6% to 462. Answis dropped 5.2%, while Enphase Energy continues its very strong negative trend. Weekly returns show Cadence Design Systems down 8.5%, Synopsys lower by 7.3%. Enphase Energy notably extends its yearly decline to 43%, maintaining significant downward pressure. Technology-focused ETFs showed modest declines today. QQQ and Vanguard Information Technology both maintained very strong positive trends despite small losses. VanEck Semiconductor ETF dropped 1%. The leveraged ProShares ultra-short QQQ has shown notably flat price movement for 24 consecutive days. Month-to-date returns show significant gains across tech ETFs. VanEck Semiconductor leads with a 14.7% return, while ProShares Ultra QQO shows the highest volatility with a 27.6% gain. ProShares ultra-short QQQ has declined 23.6% during this period, reflecting the strong tech sector performance.
Looking at stocks in tech industries, I'm Sally Short. Meta Platforms and Apple both closed higher for a second consecutive day. Microsoft dropped 3.33 to 457.36, despite maintaining a very strong positive trend. Alphabet showed some upward volatility, while Amazon declined 0.63%. Week-to-date returns show strength across the tech leaders, with Meta Platforms and Apple both up over 2.6%. Month-to-date, Meta leads with a 17.2% gain, while Microsoft follows at 15.7%. Apple shows weakness with a minus 5.7% monthly return. In semiconductor stocks, Indie Semiconductor surged 9.6%, while Nanolabs gained 9.3%. Air Test Systems rose 1.6% with strong upward volatility, marking its fourth consecutive positive close. Peraso shows a very strong positive trend, despite 140 days of sideways movement. Year-to-date performance shows significant divergence in the semiconductor space. Air Test Systems is down 39.5%, while Indie Semiconductor has declined 29.6%. Peraso shows recent strength with a 15% weekly gain, despite overall weakness in 2024. Cloud computing stocks showed notable strength, led by Box surging 17.2% to reach a new all-time high at 36.87. Oracle and the trade desk both gained 1.1%. Atlassian rose despite showing a very strong negative trend. Box leads cloud computing returns with an 18.6% weekly gain and 18.1% month-to-date increase. The trade desk shows impressive monthly performance, up 43.5%. Atlassian remains challenged, down 6.7% month-to-date and 12.5% this year. In AI and robotics, Vicarious Surgical led gains, rising 4.8%. Mobileye Global advanced 3.5% with upward volatility. Hyundai Motor gained 2%, despite showing strong downward volatility over 3 days. Boeing maintains a very strong positive trend. Weekly performance highlights Vicarious Surgical with a 16.5% gain. Mobileye Global shows strength both weekly and monthly, up 7.8% and 15.4% respectively. Intuitive Surgical maintains positive momentum across all time frames. In thematic ETFs focusing on AI and robotics, most funds showed strong positive trends despite closing lower. SPEAR Alpha ETF ended at 27.35, and AI and technology closed at 40.52, both maintaining very strong positive trends. Month-to-date returns show impressive gains across the sector. SPEAR Alpha leads with a 28.2% return, while Wisdom Tree AI and Innovation Fund follows with 13.8%. Robotics and Automation posted an 11.1% gain. Electric vehicle stocks showed mixed performance. Rivian gained 0.71% to 15.48, maintaining a very strong positive trend. NIO continued its decline, falling for the 7th consecutive day with downward volatility. Year-to-date returns in EV stocks vary significantly. XPeng leads with a 63.5% gain, while Rivian and Li Auto both show gains around 16%. NIO lags with a 15.8% decline. Quantum computing stocks showed resilience. D-Wave Quantum held at 17.55 with a very strong positive trend. TE Connectivity dipped 0.66% to 160.29, but maintained its very strong positive trend. Month-to-date performance highlights D-Wave Quantum's remarkable 154% gain. Rigetti Computing follows with a 59.6% increase, while TE Connectivity and Applied Materials show more modest gains. Solar stocks surged today. VivoPower International jumped 12.7% to 6.81, hitting a one-year high with strong upward volatility. Imerin and Sonova both gained over 10%. Year-to-date performance in solar stocks is led by VivoPower International with an extraordinary 412% gain. Sonova shows contrast with a 93.7% decline, while FTC Solar is down 26%. Thematic ETFs in the technology sector showed mixed performance today. iShares U.S. Medical Devices ETF stands out with a strong positive trend, despite closing down slightly. Global X Cloud Computing ETF broke downward after 3 days of flat movement, while maintaining a mixed positive trend. Month-to-date returns show impressive gains across the tech thematic ETFs. First Trust Nasdaq Semiconductor ETF leads with a 13.2% return, followed by First Trust Cloud Computing ETF at 10.9%. Fidelity Cloud Computing ETF has achieved an 8.8% return this month.
And with that, we wrap up another end-of-day technology deep dive. I'm Ira Roth, along with my AI co-host Sally Short. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated, and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency, and commodities. Thanks for watching.